Good morning everybody, and this is your DAX setups for today. So a couple of things going on here on the 8 hour. First one is we do have diversions on the oscillators. We've also got a crossover of both oscillators, and one of them is below the 80, the other one is still above the 80, so that is an indication that this could be some form of a top. And if we just look at this on the daily, engulfing bar, inside bar, diversion. So there is potential to believe that that is a top. You are going to have to break through structure before you take that. And I just want to just get to the weekly as well, because weekly is extremely overbought with a big indecision range bar here at the top. So not quite a shooting star, but although it is a bit of a gap here, so you can argue that is a shooting star setup, but we'd need to drop below 17,614 before that materializes. So when we look at the 8 hour, lots of indecision, exhaustion bar up, and then we kind of just rolled and we've come back to try and find support here. You can see how that structure is that I've drawn in. Remember, this is a daily level here, 17,614, pretty much bottom of range. We're now sitting at top of range, which is 17,754. Now, when we drill down through the time frames, if you have a look at the oscillators here, pointing down properly, this is on a downward move at the moment. The trend is up, but we're back into this zone of chaos that we were for quite some time last week. So at the moment, do we find support here for another attempt higher, or is this higher diversions, is that the double top that we'd be looking for? So still no clear indication of whether we're going to get a big move down or whether we're just going to continue up. One thing we do know for sure is that the market is really overextended. We are overbought right now, quite drastically, and we are coming back now into an area of chaos that has not been tested. Now this is where it becomes very, very difficult, because which tail do you think the buyers are going to come in off, if they're going to come in? Okay, so we've got to cross over the moving averages, but we're not below the 150 EMA on the hours. So for me, trend is still to the upside. Oscillators grouping quite nicely to the downside, and we have diversions to the upside here. There's low, lower low, price is sitting with a higher high, coming into a very strong area of potential support. So you can sit here and draw levels along every single one of these tails, but the way to do this, and unfortunately it means you need to be watching the charts. So if you are getting ready to go to work, it's not going to work. Another pun, excuse that. But what you'd want to be doing is paying attention to every single one of these pin bars. So any pin bar to the upside here would be tested. Not so much this pin bar. Remember, we want to be testing everything that is to the left of price, and there's price going up. So all the structure here is what you'd be looking at. So you can see there's a pin bar there. You might as well put that in because it is fairly significant. There's another one there, but it's not a fractal pin bar, so I'll leave that. There's one there. There's one there. Get my drift. Look for all the fractals, and the fractals that are pin bars like this one are the ones you need to pay attention to. Now it's pointless drawing them all in because it's just going to make your chart messy. So what you want to be doing is just put the major ones in. As you can see, we've got the top end here at 17,754, and the price is already through that as I've been speaking, dropping onto this area here at 17,744. Then you have 17,730, and you'll have 17,706. So 17,700 is probably the zone to be paying attention to. Now that does look, if you look at it this way, and I just pop back to the 3 hour, you can see we're coming into an area of support, so you definitely want to be looking for some sort of support here. The warning bell is that the 1 hour has a crossover of its moving averages and coming up towards its 150 EMA. But there is divergence here as well. So there's a pretty juicy gap down here at 17,730. But yeah, I don't see us bombing through this just for the sake of bombing through it. So I think a move down here pre-market, I would be considering a little nibble at this to attack the gap, almost a 100-point trade. So in other words, what we're looking for is some form of support, but you need to be patient. This is why this is one of those days where you're going to have to wait for price action on the level. So 17,744, you're looking here. Let's say this forms a pin bar here, probably a worthwhile opportunity because you've got a strong bit of support to the left. So if you look at this, you're going to jump in, you're going to be with a 100-point risk for that gap is the juicy one there for a 70-point gain. Alternatively, if it's not this pin bar, not this level, it could be one of these levels to the downside: 17,731, 17,706, 17,689. The further down you get, the better your stop area becomes, because then the lows of Thursday becomes your stop area. And last thing that I would do as well, just to keep yourself on the straight and narrow, get your Fibonacci in, and lo and behold, look at that. 17,731 is your 61.8. Look left, and this is on the hour. It makes the most sense that I need to be buying off that area there. So that's kind of what I'd be doing at the moment, but also be very, very careful, because if it does not find a base in the zone and starts dropping through it, then I'd want to wait for a move below and then a rejection of the same levels I've just given you. So 17,689, 17,706, 17,731, and right here at 17,744. So we're looking for support here. If we get support, we're looking to buy. And this gap is, there's going to be two targets. The first one will be 17,791, and then the second one will be this gap close. And you can actually just take this pin bar here. So that would be at 17,826. So that's the first step. If we get through that, then I would reckon we're going to be challenging the highs. But I don't think that's going to happen today. I think we're going to pull back, find some structure, and then we'll have a nice little long scalp to the upside. And remember what I've said: if we drop below this chaos, or we don't find support here, then there won't be a long. So if you don't see any inside bars, engulfing bars, or pin bars on any of these levels I've given you, then you'd be looking for a break of them and then a test. So break through the structure, come back, reject it, and that would be your cue for some shorts. But it'll have to break to this last one at 17,689. There's too much support left. Look at that. You don't want to be trying to be short off there or here. This is the closest one, and then you can still see that you're going to be held up lower down. So put those levels in as well. Just want to adjust the views so you'll see what I'm talking about. So there's more chaos to the downside here. So ideally, if you're breaking through 17,600, that would be sort of the start of this a downward move. But there's just way too much support here, so I wouldn't be, definitely not going to be looking for shorts just yet. You can see this area of support here at 17,600. If that gives way, then I would say, yeah, okay, we've got potential for a move to the downside, and then that also would play out this double top on the 8 hour, which is setting up. It's not valid just yet. Okay, so that's kind of the bigger picture. Be very careful. Don't just jump in. Wait for price action. If you don't get those inside bars, engulfing bars, or pin bars on structure and perfectly on a level, ignore it. wait for the next level, wait for the next level. This has just got the potential to burn you either way. Now, so you could sit and jump in here because you think it's going to be long. Meanwhile, institutions are looking to drive this below and break this major support here for a move lower down. And it is due for a move lower down. It is extremely overbought. So be very, very, very cautious. So whatever you do, I would be smaller position sizes and I'd be getting out. So if I do see the structure form and get in, I'd be getting out at the next level above me. I wouldn't be holding on too long for anything. But yeah, longs in this space up until gap close is the preferred trade for me at the moment. Hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.